Welcome to the club. Thank you for joining us. Remember, we are sponsored by Super 6. Make sure you're downloading the app from the Play Store, from the Apple Store, from wherever you get your apps. Download the Super 6 app. Join our league using the code CLUBS6. You have to be over 18 to use the Super 6 app, so make sure you're there and check out all the T's and C's. But we're having so much fun over there right now. We've got our own league with over 4,000 people a part of that. And if you finish top of our league every single round, you could get £100 classic football shirts voucher and the bragging rights on the club. But also, if you get 6 scorelines correct, you could win £250,000, and it's all for free. Free entry. You don't get nothing for free these days, apart from your Super 6 entry. So make sure you're downloading the app, join our league, kick back, and enjoy this clip. See you in a bit.
You're watching a clip from the Club podcast.
Make sure you follow it on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and give it a 5-star review.
So here you go. Here's a lovely clip from our podcast. Beating
Spurs,
boys,
and then Arsenal drop points at West Ham. Unbelievable.
Arsenal's a really interesting one, isn't it? Because that's 2 consecutive weekends where they've been winning 2-0 and have not won.
Does this mean they've bottled the title?
No,
I think if you're 8 points clear...
Again, I said, if City win the league, it's expected Arsenal haven't bottled it. But when you're 2-0 up, 2 weeks on the spin...
Twice, yeah.
I think it's an example of
against
the pressure
a very
taking
poor
its toll.
West Ham side that played Ghent midweek.
Yeah, tired.
Drew.
Yeah.
Played a lot of their first team
Conceded
players.
5 to Newcastle.
They've got no goals in them. Antonio could hit a barn door with a banjo.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Do you know what? I think that we can fathom logic and create reasons and excuses for Anfield. You know, when they drop,
Yeah,
I think you go.
Anyone, that can
we
happen
can rationalise that. We can rationalise it easily. It's Anfield. It's Klopp. It's Salah. It's shooting towards the cop. It's all of those things.
That's how I rationalise 7-0.
No,
But people
there's a
did
line.
say that genuinely. The atmosphere.
There's a line. But yeah, I think you can rationalise giving away a 2-goal lead at Anfield. But I'm afraid you can't rationalise it. West Ham United are flirting with relegation. You cannot.
They've been poor all season. I think Arsenal fans have been using different excuses. The issue for me is they're 2-0 up and they're playing with arrogance. They're playing with a level of confidence that is not expected of their most senior player, or one of them, in Thomas Partey. This isn't Saka missing a penalty. He's young. Things can happen. Martinelli missing something.
Anyone can miss a penalty.
Thomas Partey on the edge of his own box,
You're too generous,
essentially,
I'm afraid.
needs to shield the ball. He needs to play simple football, and he showed so much arrogance trying to flick it over Declan Rice. And the fact that Declan Rice is so willing to close him down from so far away on the pitch, it speaks volumes of that West Ham were able
won the
to
midfield battle.
Yeah, West Ham, who are shocking all season, are looking at Arsenal and picking them apart and finding gaps in their defensive quality and even gaps in their squad, because I think Tierney came in, he looked good.
No, he
but he's
didn't.
not. I think he looked good defensively. I think he looked a decent
Such a
left
drop
back.
off from Zinchenko.
But on the ball, he didn't look good enough. Of course he didn't. And then Rob Holding as well.
Do you not think that you've just glossed over and been very kind to Bukayo Saka?
What a big penalty.
Mate, it's a sporting choke, isn't it? It's a very definition of a sporting choke.
It's
Put your
Gerrard
team
slipping
Put
against
your team
Chelsea.
3-1 up. Like you kind
He's
of went,
slipping,
it's
he's
a penalty.
falling,
You
he
didn't
can't
want
get
a
up.
penalty.
I
Why
just say
have you
because the
been so
age
nice
thing,
about that?
Does Gabby Jesus take a bit of responsibility? Should he be taking it?
No, bro. Saka takes their penalties all the time. He hasn't missed one for Arsenal, by the way. I think, look, it's normal. You know, I've seen Gabriel Jesus get criticised for giving the ball to Saka. He was only protecting him. Teams do that every single week. You know,
I tweeted that. I think it's overplayed. I think it's way overplayed.
It was a very
it's
good
World
tactic.
Cup tactic.
It was a very.
Now everyone's
do you know-
doing
No,
it.
it's not overplayed. It's clever. It makes sense.
It's not clever because the
everyone
pressure,
knows.
the pressure that's derived from Saka, nothing changed.
Also,
He
you
still
know, I
bowled it.
think Saka's still stood behind everyone going, I'm taking this.
No,
Yeah,
do you know where?
I've got to just get the ball and hit it really hard into the roof of the net. Do you know what I mean?
Where I thought it worked very well? is
You're
when
saying get it, hit it real hard into the roof of the net.
That's what
He might not hit the roof of the net.
I would have done that.
No, you wouldn't
I
have
would
done
have
that.
scored that. My penalties are unbelievable.
What should have happened there is Bukayo Saka should have scored. And I think to say it was anything other than a choke is just being ridiculously generous. It wouldn't show. Yeah, but Buvey, I don't think
It's
that
the choke of a young man. That was the concept.
Also,
He's a
should you
very
be feeling the
experienced
pressure
footballer.
at 2-1 up against West Ham?
Yeah, to go 3-1 up.
Exactly.
In terms of like pressured
that
penalty.
actually is a great point. That
If it was 2-2, maybe.
This isn't Anfield under the lights. This isn't
it's not
Old
the
Trafford.
last kick of the game to win the league, is it?
This is West
It's to
Ham,
go
Olympic
3-1 up at
Stadium.
West
Why
Ham.
the fans are about 1,000 miles away on the other end. Do you know what I mean? It's a bad stadium.
I don't think you can miss
the
I don't
atmosphere
think you
isn't
can miss that, I'm
electric
afraid.
there. He should be hitting the target at least.
Yeah, I don't think you can miss that penalty.
embarrassing.
I really don't. And then obviously, as you expect, a couple of seconds later, Bowen's in, and Ramsdale, I think, got a hand to it. and should have.
Is it
Also,
also
the defence switched off.
Is he a little bit thinking, is it offside? Is it? That's not a good excuse, but
The thing is, Buvey
Ramsdale-
touched
I
it.
think
He
the
touched it.
bounce kills him.
If you touch
yeah.
it, if you get a hand to it, I think you've got to
it
keep
was
it.
an awkward.
I think Rory's right,
Strike.
and he's got to keep it out, especially if you get in touch to it. But I think he's thought that's going to be hit on the full volley.
Yeah.
It comes straight to me, I keep it out.
Yeah.
But the bounce has deceived him, and it's took it at a
Yeah,
different
it's not
height.
easy, but his responsibility.
No,
I
you're
think
right,
he's probably
you're
the
right.
best goalkeeper in the league this season.
Nah.
I think he's probably the best goalkeeper in the league. It might, if I were voting off
he
the
wins
top of my
the
head
league,
here, best goalkeeper in the league this season, Aaron Ramsdale,
Do you
and
want to hear
therefore he
who's
should
got the
be
most clean sheet?
David De Gea.
It's mad, isn't it?
Yeah, he's had it.
When you consider how we view him now.
But David De Gea for the outstanding save is probably the best in the league. What he's not good enough at is commanding his area or distribution.
No, I
basically
agree with
everything
you.
else.
But I'm just
Like if a corner comes in, he's potentially going to get out muscled, or
Yeah.
it's that stuff. But in terms of making an outrageous worldy save, probably the best in the league.
Yeah.
but probably moves on at the end of this season, right?
I've heard a good.
No?
it looks like he's going to stay. We haven't.
Yeah,
You've
good.
got to remember,
That's good
we've
for
got
us. That's great.
We've
Yeah,
got financial
De
fair
Gea,
play.
you stay at
issues.
Man United.
Yeah. De Gea, stay at Man United
Please
and keep
stay.
the most clean sheets in the Premier
Mate,
League.
he's terrible.
Oh,
He's never going to.
please.
He's not good enough to win your Premier League.
By the way, I think because we've got financial fair play issues, and we've also got potentially we don't know who the owners are going to be, so we don't know. But let's not make this about United. Arsenal, City, remaining fixtures. Shut up, Buvey.
Yeah.
I'm going to go for it.
Sorry.
Arsenal, Southampton, home.
Arsenal
win.
obviously win. Arsenal obviously win that.
Man City away.
Lose.
Chelsea at home.
I think Chelsea could, especially if they've lost at City. Like Chelsea
Draw.
have it in us to get something, which ends the title race, I think.
Yeah. They can't draw anything now.
No.
Arsenal. That's been every game.
Newcastle away is after that.
Oh my God. And
They've
then they
got
play
City,
Brighton as well,
Chelsea,
don't
Newcastle.
And Newcastle might need those points.
Chelsea's at the Emirates though.
they? Yeah. No, they should batter us, but,
Yeah, but Chelsea could
it's
pile the bus, justifiably if they get
Also, it's Chelsea. You know how we've said, like, regardless of the form that Liverpool are in, they turned up against Manchester United. Like, regardless of who Chelsea are at the moment, stopping Arsenal winning the league will elevate
But
the
we thought that
motivation
in the Champions League.
It's your cup final. It's Chelsea's cup final. That's
It
what
is.
I'm and it is for Newcastle because of the drop points against Aston Villa.
And for
Are there enough
Newcastle as
players
well,
at
they've
Chelsea
got a
that
bit
care,
of spite.
though?
Do you remember the game at the Etihad? Remember the game earlier this season at the Emirates when Eddie Howe and Mikel Arteta had some venom on the sideline? They were calling them
There's been
anti-football.
some classic games.
Also,
in those
Newcastle
sides.
need Champions League football.
And it happened this time last year. Do you remember when Arsenal went up there? Do you remember when Arsenal went to Newcastle at the end of the season and got beat 2-0?
Struggled, yeah.
When Newcastle had nothing
Same
to play
stage
for.
of the season.
Yeah.
Basically,
Same
it
stage
was,
of the season. Yeah.
Yeah, although, do you know what else felt fairly symmetrical? Do you remember about this time last year, Man City went to West Ham and drew 2-2, and it felt like a huge black mark in their copybook in terms of trying to win the league.
We should have lost
They
3-2.
You went to West Ham and you dropped points.
Yep.
It felt like curtains, and you ultimately went on to win the league.
Yep.
If you're an Arsenal fan, that has to be your approach. If you're an Arsenal fan, you go, okay, we had a cushion over City. Nothing's really changed from that result, by the way.
They just need to get a result out there.
And they needed to get a result at the Etihad anyway. Like,
It
nothing
does
changed.
change.
Not as
If-
much
if
as
City
before
win
if they would have
everything,
beat
it makes it
Liverpool and
easier.
West
They
Ham.
needed a point against City one way or the other. So nothing. Oh, look, I don't
Right, come
necessarily
on.
believe this,
Where were we? Newcastle away. What are they doing?
I think they're winning.
I think they're losing.
I think they're winning.
Brighton at home.
They'll win that.
They have to win that. Like, they just have
Do
to.
you remember that meme of the Brighton player laughing at
Yeah.
Arsenal player on the floor?
Yeah.
I can see a
And they
similar thing
played
happening.
really well. They played really well over Christmas away at Brighton.
Forest away, they'll win. Wolves at home, they should win.
Yeah,
So we're saying 6 points from Wolves and Forest.
Adam, all it comes really down to is the game at the Etihad in 10 days' time, 9 days' time now. 8
No,
days,
it doesn't, you know.
7 days.
He-
Yeah, but
I
we're
think,
looking at
I
these
think Arsenal get a
fixtures.
result
We keep
there.
stopping, starting, going, draw. We haven't looked at City's fixtures. I'm not sitting here.
All right, we'll do that.
No, but I'm just saying.
Your fixtures are much easier.
Yeah, and the
City's
issue is
fixtures, Arsenal at home,
think
which
we
is
win
their
all of
next
them.
one. Fulham away.
Win.
Brighton away.
win.
West Ham at home.
Win.
Leeds at home.
I think there's going to be an
Keep the
upset.
camera on him to keep saying win.
No, but I'm not
please.
saying it in an
No,
arrogant
but-
way.
but-
We've
but-
won 10
do
in a
you
row.
not
Arsenal at
think-
home.
Even if
We've
you
won
think
18 in a row before, lads. 18 in a row.
Do you not think a draw is just the natural evolution of football? The natural ebb and flow of football means that a draw is looming.
I can't predict the Champions League
Predict these, go on.
semi-finals.
Arsenal at home.
I don't.
No,
we're going to
do
win all
what
of
you
them.
just did.
We're going to win all of them.
Fulham at home. Away, sorry.
Yeah. We're going to win that.
You can't sort out a clip, so just say win-win, and he can ask you the question.
win,
Arsenal
Yeah.
at home.
win,
Fulham away.
win,
Brighton away.
win.
West Ham at home.
Yeah, win.
Leeds home.
Win.
Everton away.
Maybe a draw if there was a draw.
They get a good
that's
result
tough.
against you,
That's
don't
tough.
they? Sometimes.
Yeah.
Chelsea at home.
Win.
Brentford
That
away.
could be a great clip.
Well, Brentford could be a weird one. It could be a weird one.
I think it'll be over by then.
2 games where you've thought
I think it'll be over by
might
then.
draw.
One way or the other, it's over by then. They're either champions by then or Arsenal have won the league.
I really don't want to come across as arrogant. I just think City have got the ability to win. The squad we've got, we're built to win.
But you're built to win every
10 games in a row.
Yeah, but you have done.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. We've got the history of doing it with Guardiola.
You've said 10.
before.
You've said 10. You've won 10.
Yeah, we've won 10
So
already.
what I'm saying is, do you not just think that there's a twist and a turn to come in the title race?
Yeah.
Even if you end up winning it, do you not think that maybe you play Brentford and drop points, or maybe you play Chelsea and drop points, or maybe Arsenal beat you at the Etihad? Just the beauty and brilliance and unpredictable nature of football means that something else happens.
You can observe those things. I could have said that at the start of the season when I think, maybe it didn't work with Julian Alvarez, or Calvin Phillips doesn't quite work. The way it currently, the squad's working, if everyone stays fit, it's all I can speak about.
They are looking incredible.
City's squad, as we speak,
yes,
are fully fit. Phil Foden's coming back into training. We've got a relatively straightforward tie in the FA Cup. I don't want to speak ill of Sheffield United. It's a hard game. And I can't speak about the Champions League semi-finals.
Do you know where Arsenal was so unfortunate? They really needed Bayern Munich to not necessarily win the tie,
it a game,
but it needed to be 1-1 after the first
leg. It needed to be
leg.
a battle at the Allianz.
Yeah, or even somehow City lost the game at home. Like they lost 2-1 and they're going away, and like something like that. The fact that they're just coasting and getting it so right, and everyone is looking so hot, like they're playing. Even if you analyse the individuals, like if you were to do like team of the week, put about 4 City.
6 or 7 players at City that are operating at a very high level. And I've spoken to a couple of friends who are Arsenal supporters. They don't want They don't want to. I'm obviously not naming names on a podcast.
No, I want to know.
Podcast.
I want to know. Otherwise, no, it's word of mouth. It's hearsay. I don't care. I'm Judge Judy.
But they've said it in the way that they don't watch City games.
Sport Joel.
And City fans, but City fans are watching every Arsenal game, expecting something to happen in these games.
Yeah.
And
but you're
Arsenal
doing that
fans
to them,
don't want to see City. Arsenal don't want to see City play because they know it's going to be 3 points.
But you're watching their game, hoping that they drop points.
Expecting
How
something
happy
to
were
happen.
you after West Ham, Drew?
I was shouting, I was jumping up and down, but I could see it happening. I can see these cracks appearing. And all I can say in the Premier League title race, I've been more nervous against Man United sides. I've been more nervous against Klopp's Liverpool side. That's all I can say.